Betrayer, first captain of the World Eaters, another Trader Marine that's over 10,000 years old, versus a Genestealer Abominant. This one on paper I think looks very, very even, but I thought that of Kharn's last battle, and he made quick work of his opponent. Kharn has insane hand-to-hand combat, but this Abominant can come back time and time again, as we saw. It has its regular save, it has a feel no pain save, and it can actually get all of its wounds back if you roll well enough once it's been killed. So this is going to be a really, really good fight, I think. I'm going to be moving behind the dice right here to see who goes first. So I'm going to be, we'll say it's an Abominant, so it's got an A. It doesn't matter if it was Genestealer. It'll be rolling before Kharn, so if it rolls higher, it will be placed on the table first, and we'll also get the first movement. It has no ranged attack, so it's going to have to be very careful where it ends up on the table to see if it can stay out of line of sight. Kharn doesn't have an amazing range attack, but his plasma pistol is very strong, so if the Genestealer Abominant gets in a little too close and it doesn't have good enough cover, it will be possibly plasmid right in the face. So let's see how this one goes. Over the dice tray, we're going to be rolling to see who gets the first move. First roll of the game here for Kharn versus the Abominant. We're going to see who goes first. I was just checking Kharn's rules too, and he does have the Berserker Frenzy. So if this model is destroyed by a melee attack, which is the only thing the Abominant has, if it has not fought this phase, do not remove it from play. It can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attack, and then it's removed from play. If that happens, and by some chance he kills the Abominant after he's been killed, and this would be the Abominant's second life if it gets it, I'm going to actually have a roll-off to see who wins that one. So that's going to be my rule right off the start, just to be transparent and fair here. So we're going to roll anyways. We're starting off with the Abominant, so this is his roll. It is a 2, and this is Kharn's 5. So Kharn is going to get set up first. My strategy I'll cover on the other camera. Back from the dice tray, models have been placed on the table. So we have Kharn down here. I wanted to take away that extra terrain that the Abominant might be able to hide behind. So I'm hoping it's going to be open here from the side of Kharn to make sure that he can attack it with no issue. And then our Genestealer Abominant is down here. There is a little bit of terrain it can sneak behind right off the bat. Both models move at 6 inches. But as I said before, the Abominant does not have a ranged attack. So it is going to be looking to hide in cover and then possibly ambush Kharn. Kharn being a Berserker, he is going to want to get right in there and slice it up as well. So I think this might be a head-to-head. Kharn's going to have to try to keep his cool, though, and do a little bit of strategy here. But we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start moving here right off the bat. Kharn is first, moving 6. So once again, we're going to be using that tower for him. Oh, it doesn't really matter. There's no range. And the Abominant here, moving up. Kharn's going to be barreling down to make sure that he can take that first. Here. So 12 inches for Kharn, just so you guys can see that as well from his plasma pistol. So if the Abominant comes out on this side, it's reaching right about here. And then if it comes out on that side, it's reaching about here. I'm going to see if I can actually maybe get him right into line of sight here. So I just move. Okay, so just coming back there, I just wanted to cover a little bit of strategy here to make sure. So the Genestealer Abominant is actually going to be in the open here. I don't think that that was my intention, but I wasn't looking at the angles too well. So Kharn's going to pop out here. It doesn't really matter if the Abominant had moved out here. Kharn would have probably been on this side. So I think it's going to be the same. Just that one corner is super important strategically. So this is 12 inches from Kharn. So the Abominant is definitely in range. So we're going to be moving over to the dice tray here to see what Kharn's plasma pistol can do to it. And if it does kill it, it's possible that this Abominant is going to come right back, but we will see. Over the dice tray, and let's see how this happens. Okay, so Kharn is in range. He's going to be using his plasma pistol here. Both models have 5 wounds, so that's also something that's very fair between the two of them. Kharn does have an invulnerable, though. The Abominant does not, so if this does injure the Abominant, wounds it, it's going to not have an invulnerable save to rely on. So this is Kharn's Plasma Pistol, 1 attack, 2+. Didn't get it. So that's it for that. It's going to be moving back over to the other camera. This is one thing about the Plasma Pistol. It has the one shot. There's no multiple shots. So that was Kharn's shot, so to speak. Okay, so missed by Kharn right off the bat. Those Butcher's Nails might be digging in deep because he can see that Genestealer Abominant just wants to cut him up with Gorechild, so that's maybe why he missed that one. This does, however, play a little bit into the Abominant's strategy because this thing doesn't have a range, so it's trying to close that gap as quickly as possible and get into hand-to-hand combat, whether it be the first attack, fight first, or if it's going to be a counterattack. So Kharn here, I'm playing by lore, guys. I should probably shoot the Abominant and move back, but that's not what a World Leader would do. He wants to get in. This guy used to fight in arenas like crazy back in the day. So this is what's going on. Kharn is going to be running into hand-to-hand combat. I know this is what happened with Torgaradon too in this past fight. Kharn is taking the initiative though, so this is going to be hand-to-hand combat right off the bat after Kharn's missed shoot, and with that one attack as well, Kharn might miss again. So he's not going to take any chances, and he has initiated hand-to-hand combat. We will see how that goes. So over the dice tray to roll for it. So right into hand-to-hand here, this is Kharn with the fighting first. You know, he wants those skulls for the Skull Throne, blood for the Blood God. He is frothing at the mouth. The Butcher's Nails are biting hard, and he gets 8 attacks, which is insane with Gorechild. So this is hitting on 2+. Incredible. Only 1 fell off there, so very good roll by Kharn. It is strength 6 versus toughness 6, though. The Abominant's pretty well armored with its natural like chitin and stuff like that. It's also full of muscle, so oof, if it gets to fight back here too, that power sledgehammer at strength 12. Woof. Okay, so here we go. Anyways, it is going to be 4s to wound. Strength 6 versus toughness 6, 4s. Not as good a roll, so a lot fell off there actually. So we had 1, 1, 2, 3. So that's 5 attacks that fell off. And it is -2 to AP, so the Abominant actually can't save this. It has a 5+ regular save, so we're going to be doing the Feel No Pain, which is its 5+. So if a model can't make a save or it hasn't made a save, it gets a second chance of Feel No Pain. So it needs 5s here, or there's going to be 3 damage per. So here we go, it's 5s. Saved 1, so that is 3 wounds that were avoided. 1, however, did not save, so that's 3 damage. So our Abominant has gone from 5 wounds down to 2 wounds. Anyways, we had Kharn fight there. He was able to chip several wounds off of the Genestealer Abominant. It is now down to 2 from 5. So he did some good damage, but it is moving back over to the Abominant now for its hand-to-hand combat counterattack, and it definitely has the capability of killing Kharn. So we're going to see how this goes. And if they both survive this round of hand-to-hand, we're going to have to see what the strategy is going forward. So over the dice camera, and we'll see what the Abominant can do. My dog's also having a big drink, so if you guys hear slurping in the background, that's him. I don't know if the Akaso is going to pick it up because its mic's not amazing, but if you guys hear that, it's maybe some ambient sound for the fight. So the power sledgehammer that is held by the Abominant is half the amount of attacks. It has 4, hitting on a 3+, so a lesser weapon skill. Its strength, however, is 12, which is quite a bit higher than Kharn's. -2 to AP, and then its damage is D6 plus 1 for whatever is not saved. So we are doing 4 attacks here on a 3+. So 1 fell off. There are 3 that are through. It is strength 12 versus toughness 4. So this is going to be wounding on 2s. Ooh, that's not good. All are through. -2 to AP, which brings Kharn up to his 4+ and vulnerable. So any that are not saved here at a 4+ are going to be facing D6 plus 1 damage. Could be the end of Kharn. So here we go, looking for 4+. This one is 4, 5, so there is a 3. So Kharn has not saved that one, and now this is the Abominant's damage here. It is D6 plus 1. So quite a scrap there. We had Kharn deliver those initial wounds, bringing the Abominant down to 2, and then the Abominant was able to counterattack back, and Kharn has 1 remaining. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a ranged here. I think I might, because this Abominant's going to come back no matter what. I want to get it killed with the range. Not really a World Eater thing here, but I'm going to do it. So Kharn's going to move outside of the range of the Abominant's movement, and he's going to put a shot onto it with his plasma pistol and hopefully take it out here. And also, he's hoping that it's probably not going to regenerate its gene mass, which it has the capability of doing. So back over to the dice tray to see what Kharn's plasma pistol can do to the Abominant in a ranged attack. All right, so sorry about that. Kharn was out of frame. Move that over, so hopefully he'll be in there for the rest of the fight here. So this is going to be Kharn's plasma pistol. It is 1 attack, ballistic skill 2+, so he needs a 2 or higher to hit. He got it. Rolled a 3. It is strength 8 versus toughness 6, so 3s to wound. He got a 5. That's perfect. So Kharn's plasma pistol is a -3 to AP, which brings our Abominant up to a save that it cannot make since it doesn't have an invulnerable, but it does, however, have that feel no pain. So it's going to be rolling here. If it's a 5+, it will survive the shot that just happened. If it's lower than a 5, it is going to be taking 2 damage, which would mean that it will be killed. So we're looking for a 5+ here for the Abominant. And it rolled a 2, so the feel no pain has failed. So the Abominant is currently dead. We are going to, however, do its roll now for regenerating gene mass. So the first time this model is destroyed, roll 1d6 at the end of the phase, which is now. On a 2+, set this model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range of any enemy units, with its full wounds remaining. So the Abominant is looking for a 2+ here. And it got a 6. So Kharn is going to be facing off against a fully regenerated Abominant here in just a sec. This damn thing, I'm telling you, the Abominant, great staying power. Even if you can kill this thing with the tank and, you know, it's just a blob on the ground, I guess, it's able to regenerate. So Kharn had a successful shot, successful wound. He was able to kill the Abominant. However, it did roll its regenerating gene mass roll. So it's back up on the table with 5 wounds. Outside of engagement range already, so it says, you know, it's close to where it came in, so I'll move it there. This is going to go back over to Kharn since this thing just regenerated itself. It's going to be another plasma shot. I know I've been saying that World Eaters would want to run right in here, but Kharn is not stupid. Even as a captain of the World Eaters with the Butcher's Nails in his head, he was still able to make some very cool and calm decisions, considering that he was a World Eater. I know he's a betrayer, but that kind of happened after. And there's no other models here to betray. So he's going to be trying to kill this thing outright. It's going to be another shoot by Kharn with his plasma pistol here in just a sec. And we're going to see if he can take some more wounds off of this Abominant. If not, the Abominant's going to be closing that range again to try to get into hand-to-hand, get the initiative, and kill Kharn, as Kharn only has 1 wound left. So this plasma pistol, very strong, but it only has that 1 attack, which sucks. If you roll a 1, it's not going to fire, and that's going to be a missed turn by Kharn, but we're going to do it anyways. If I ran into hand-to-hand here, it would be closing the gap, and the Abominant might be able to take the initiative. With Kharn's 1 wound, he's going to be doing ranged attacks for now, so this is hitting on a 2+. He got it. Strength 8, toughness 6. It is going to be a 3 to wound. He got it just, so he had just the 2, just the 3. And it is that -3, so the Abominant does not have the ability to save, but it does have the feel no pain, so we're going to see if it's able to save with that. It did not. Roll the 4, needed a 5, so it has taken 2 more damage off of its regenerated self, and it is down to 3 wounds, but it's moving back over to the Abominant now for its turn. All right, so Kharn was able to wound it again. This is its second life, so to speak. And Kharn has brought it down to 3 wounds once more. The Abominant's turn, however, is now, and it is going to be closing that gap with Kharn. It wants to get in there and kill him. And I don't think I'm going to be dumb enough here to jump in and fight it in hand-to-hand, just giving it that chance. It has 3 wounds left. Kharn does have 8 attacks, but his last roll wasn't great. So I'm going to play it safe here, try to stay out of range of that. And then if he can soften this thing up, if it's within range, I think I have a much better chance of taking it out. So Kharn's moved back a couple of inches. He's just outside of the range of the Abominant's movement. So it's going back over to Kharn now for his shoot. And we're going to see if he can do a couple more wounds here to the Abominant. If not, we might have to change up the strategy for him. All right, Kharn's shoot here. We have the Abominant down to 3 wounds from that last range attack by Kharn, so 2+ to hit. Got a 5, much better roll. Needs a 3 to wound. Got it. The Abominant cannot save, so it's got to make that 5+ feel no pain. It didn't. It got a 4, so Kharn has delivered another 2 wounds, and that Abominant is now down to the same wounds as Kharn. They're both at 1. So Kharn is hanging on there. He's got that 1 wound left. He was able to chip 2 more wounds off of the Abominant, so it's also down to 1 wound. The nice thing about Kharn, I know it is only the 1 attack with the plasma pistol, but it's a strength 8, where Torgaradon, who fought this thing last time, did not have a strong ranged attack against infantry models. So it is now going back over to the Abominant for its movement. I made sure that Kharn was outside of its range there. So it's going to be moving right to here. I believe that is still in frame on the camera because I just checked. So 1 wound left. Kharn's got 8 attacks in hand-to-hand combat. I think I'm going to be doing that just in case if this thing rolls after a shoot. So let's get in here. Kharn wants to finish this thing off with Gorechild and finish it off kind of World Eater style. So we're moving back to the dice tray here, which is most likely the last turn of the battle, of the fight. But if this Genestealer Abominant gets to counterattack, that might be the end of Kharn, and it probably will be. So over the dice tray to see how this one shakes out. All right, so Kharn been rolling very well with his plasma pistol, but I'm just scared that he would be getting a 1 with his ballistic skill, and that he would not be able to do that final shoot damage. So I am going to be attacking hand-to-hand. Much better percentage here of him getting hits in and wounding. So this is Gorechild, 8 attacks, hitting on 2+. All dice are through. This is looking like it was the good call. It is strength 6, however, versus toughness 6. So we're looking at 4s here to wound. And a lot fell off again there. That's a tough one. Kharn's really good against like Imperial Guard or 3 toughness, 4 toughness, even 5. But against the same toughness as the strength of the weapon, a little trickier. Anyways, he got 4 through, so 50% of what he was able to do. It is -2 to AP. That has the Abominant not being able to make a save because it has a 5+, but it gets its Feel No Pain 5+. So the Abominant needs 5s here. If there aren't 5s on this dice, it means that the Abominant is dead, as each attack by Kharn from Gorechild is 3 damage that makes it through. So here we go, 5+ for the Abominant. Made 2. It made 2, so not too bad, 5, 6. However, this is 3 damage, that is 6 damage. That would have killed the Abominant actually outright from the start of the fight. That's what we were looking for in that first hand-to-hand combat. But Kharn has come out as the victor with 1 wound remaining against an Abominant that had 10 in total as it was able to regenerate. So over to the other camera, sum this one up, and Kharn is moving on. Wow, another incredible scrap there. Kharn the Betrayer does come away with the win. 1 wound remaining at the end. Took a bit of a gamble there to go in with Gorechild, because if the Genestealer Abominant had been able to fight back, that probably would have been lights out for Kharn. But he has been able to win the day. Yeah, that's the way I'd play with Kharn. So that was a good strategy, good representation of what the World Eaters are all about. And he is moving on now to take on Azrael in the next round. So that is going to be another very good fight. Azrael, with that distance though and the strength of his weapon, I think is going to infuriate Kharn, because Kharn does want to get into hand-to-hand combat and fight. I wouldn't say as much as the Orc War Boss, but that's going to be a good scrap. So in the next round, we have Marneus Calgar versus Abaddon the Despoiler. And we have Kharn the Betrayer versus Supreme Grandmaster Azrael. I wouldn't have this any other way. It's just weird how it's all shaken out, because I was thinking for a while that Chaos would be fighting Chaos, or Space Marines would be fighting Space Marines. That's not the case. So it's ended up pretty cool for the way that this is. And I'm going to be getting those shot in the next little while. Got to edit up this round though, get that out, and we will see how those last couple fights do. And whoever wins each of those fights is moving on to the semifinal, and from there we're going to see who wins. So good job, Kharn. Moving on, taking on Azrael. Thank you guys for watching. Fight 'em Up by Finnigan 40K.